Yeah, that was kind of laggy on my end. I got too many windows open over here. There's too much stuff going on over here. Sorry,
I was
guys.
wondering. I
I
thought it was mine.
apologize. No, it's mine. I have too much stuff open over here. There's probably videos and stuff playing in the background because I got way too much stuff open. So let me close some stuff real quick.
I can only have a max of 2 tabs before I wig out and start exiting out of everything. I think it's a CD thing for real. Like I hate a bunch of windows open.
I
God.
know, dude, well, here on this side it helps big time, and that's because I have like
Yeah.
a jet engine over here running this whole thing, dude.
Oh yeah, I forget you're on the intern's mammoth
Yeah,
computer.
I'm on the Alienware, dude. It's like it takes up a whole
Yeah.
wall, dude. It's like a 1970s computer. You know, all that power for something like that
CIA
big.
technology.
Yeah. Hey guys, so we are back after a week off. I actually couldn't do it last week alone. I actually refused to do a show without Justin last week. So we're still here. We're still growing out, even though I'm actually in Justin's backyard now, like physically in his backyard now. And he's got to drive 50 miles to work now.
Thank
And
you.
my drive is still the same. But so it's been different. We can no longer like show prep during the day at work anymore, like during downtime. So that makes things a little more difficult. But
Mexico.
yeah, yeah, and it kind of takes the fun out of it. But I have found a lot of guys out there where I'm at that are really into high school football. There's a Port Lavaca dude now. We got a Port Lavaca plug again. There's a guy from Port
Sweet.
Lavaca out there. There's some guys from Victoria that are out there.
Really?
There's a dude from Cuero. Yeah,
Wow.
dude, I'm telling you, like they pulled people from all over the place. Me and Melissa Ross, that's my wife, and she said her and her TAF friend would have hosted the show for us.
You got a half friend? Come on, dude.
Oh man. So what has happened since we've been
So
gone?
you'll have more football guys at the new facility. It sounds like.
I don't. They can talk around it. You know what I mean? They're just like, hey, just kind of like, hey, I like. I'm from here, and that's my team. They can actually talk about it. So I was actually talking to this one guy about Steve Johnson. You guys remember Steve Johnson, the all everything fullback at Port
Yeah.
Lavaca? Yeah, he's still around over there. He said it was too small. He said he just couldn't make the adjustment to that D1. I think he got an offer at Lamar. Right? Was that right? So yeah, so he's back there, and then the Cuero guy, and then the Victoria guy. So yeah, there's guys from all over the place. So that's good, knowing that maybe we can talk some ball a little bit. Hey Brian, how are you? Good to see you. Y'all got a kind of pretty big, not really big game last week, and that's one thing I forgot to mention is it's Refugio Shiner week as well, but that's kind of lost its luster a little bit. Shiner's got I think 2 wins this year. Yeah, it's definitely rebuilding after the Brooks brothers departed.
Remember they talked about that a couple years ago after the year I think Shiner beat them. A lot of people like that we talked to Rafiro told us, hey, Shiner's gonna have some drop off, and Rafiro's just got a ton of kids coming up from the subs in the junior high, and it's kind of showing right now, right? Like Shiner's struggling, and Rafiro's continuing to just pound away. So,
wow, playing on the reservation this year. That sounds weird, Ryan.
That is a little weird, Ryan.
So what else has happened? Man, I went to Snows, as evident by my T-shirt. And if you guys have never been to Snows BBQ in Lexington, you have to go, dude. It is a must stop. I've been to Franklin's. I've been to some of the spots in Lockhart. Right now, I do have to put Snows at my number 1 spot right now.
Really?
It's not just because of Tootsie, because if you guys have seen that show on Netflix where kind of they kind of blew Snows up a little more than what it was. They talked about how she's been there and talked about her whole story and whatnot. Rebecca had never seen it. We didn't see it till we came back. I tell you what I took away from that show, watching it again. We paid $32 a pound for brisket, and that show came out in 2020. It was $20 a pound there.
Whoa.
At the time. Yes, dude, that was my biggest takeaway from rewatching that. Was the $12 per pound hike increase in brisket. But I would definitely go again. It's the line wasn't nearly as bad as Franklin's. I mean, there was a line, but Lexington there's nothing in Lexington, right? Nothing.
I was about to say, I
Um,
would think the line issue is just because in Austin you have so many places that you can stay close by and get to. Whereas
yeah,
Lexington, like we tried making this trip tons of times, and it's
yeah,
like, where do we stay? How do we get there? How do we put football involved? Just never lined up for us. And then you
yeah,
found the little Airbnb, which that's actually pretty dope. But
yeah,
I would think that'd probably play a little bit of a factor into it, right?
yeah. And I'm surprised that more people don't have an Airbnb there,
You think?
just for that reason. I mean, you would imagine that place would be blown up on a Saturday or Friday night, the little Airbnb stuff. Um, but I did go check out a Lexington Eagles football game that night, and we've talked about it before, man. But man, it's just I can't get over like how you can just go 2 hours north in the middle of nowhere, and the kids are just so much bigger.
Yeah.
At that small at that size of school. They're a 3A D2 school, and they had some very big kids. I actually talked to one of the guys on the booster club and talked about that kid that went to A&M there. He's actually seen some playing time there at A&M
Yeah.
that you told me about from Lexington.
Yeah. And I'm going to have a blank. Jared Kerr.
Yeah. So he's like, yeah, it's something else, man. They were actually going to the Aggie game that next day. I think they played Alabama that next day, I think. And sore subject. Sore
Showed
subject.
up.
We'll move
That's what
on.
happened. They showed up.
Yeah. Anyways, what else has happened?
I was doing good until then.
Sorry,
I'd forgotten about all the.
dude.
I'd forgotten about it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
So real quick,
Snows BBQ.
those man is so you've had the Franklin's, right? I've had a couple of the Lockhart places. I've had butter. So the only thing I really have to like be able to like kind of base with you that you've had, we both had butters. Where would you
Yeah.
compare butters flavor or just like butters pricing experience versus the Snows?
The pricing's about the same.
Okay.
And they're not price gouging up at Lexington. I think butters is $32 a pound.
Okay.
If not 30. So it's pretty close, right? But that's just the meat price right now, dude.
Yeah. Oh, it's hot.
It's just different, dude. It's different. I mean, you can't compare them. I mean, if I definitely put Snows on top.
I would think
like I
the
said,
atmosphere at Snows would also give you a little bit of a competitive edge too, right?
yeah, dude. I mean, dude, we got in line at 3 a.m. Me and my cousin Isaac and Julian went, and I think we had coffees. We made coffees there at the Airbnb and took it with us. I think we cracked our coffees at 3 and cracked our first beer at 4.
I'm about to say, what time did the beer start flowing?
About 4 o'clock, dude. But
Oh,
dude, I have to tell this story, right? And we couldn't believe it. So when we were there, we got there about 3:30, and we were probably about 20th in line, right? So there was already people there. So, some people stayed the night before.
that's a little nuts.
Yeah, they stayed there. They got there that Friday night and stayed there on the porch. So we weren't very far from the porch. Like I said, we were probably 30th in line or so. They opened at 8, and I think we ate by 9. So we had brisket for breakfast. We ate at 9 o'clock.
That ain't too bad.
So that wasn't too bad, right? And most of the time is you can only fit about 4 or 5 people in the ordering spot at once. And people are placing these huge to-go orders, these huge orders there to eat there. Like the folks in front of us were there from Houston, and man, they ordered that they easily ordered $400 worth of barbecue
Gee,
to eat there and then to go. Yeah. So we did that. We got in line, and there was this couple that showed up probably about 4:30, and they were just kind of standing there eyeballing everybody. And my cousin, I was just like, look, I bet you they're trying to see who they can cut in line with. Right. And I was like, oh, dude, there's going to be a riot, dude, if they do that. Right.
Yeah.
I'll start a riot. Right. So, come to find out, there was a couple sitting next to us from Iowa, actually. Iowa. They had Goldies the day before up in Fort Worth, and they went down to Snows. Yeah, dude, I met a person from Australia.
Wow.
So that couple was talking to the people from Iowa next to us and like, hey, we're here to meet this family we met last time, and they don't speak any English, right? And so we were meeting him here again. He's like, I think that's him there, but the guy was asleep and he had his jacket over and like tightened over his face, so it was just scrunched like that. And he's like, I don't know if that's him, and I don't want to wake him up.
Yeah.
Right. So eventually they got up, right? And it was the guy. And dude, they could not, they did not speak English. And the people that were there did not speak Spanish. So they were communicating the whole time through Google Translate. They would talk into their phone and they'd play it, and they were just doing that back and forth. My wife's the one that actually noticed that they were doing that, but I thought that was pretty wild.
That's pretty cool.
Londo, they said Snows was better than Goldie's.
While we're on this topic, before we get into the final actual what we're looking for here on the show, my thing is that experience is cool, and I will go do it. But dude, like maybe it's because we're from Texas and we take it for granted. Because yes, I get Snows and Franklin's, all these places have really good brisket and barbecue, and you got to try it right. It's part of the thing. But dude, you can also go down to your buddy's house who can throw down. And
you can go down to Big Marcus
and experience. You know? Yeah, go to Big Marcus and experience good barbecue. And so sometimes I think it's like, I'm like, dude, how are these people from like Iowa or Australia camping out on a Friday night the day before, or the Friday before, you know, just so they can get in there on this food? I'm like, I don't think I can do that, man. Like, I don't know. I think you got to do it for the experience, but I think as Texans, we do take that for granted, right? On just the good barbecue.
Dude, it actually wasn't bad. Like I'd go back.
I would, I'd go back. Do it how you did. I would show up at 3 and
do it again.
Not 12 o'clock at night. No way.
Yeah, I mean that's close enough, right? We were there. We ate within an hour of opening, and we were fine. And we went back to the Airbnb and were able to take a nap before we had to check out. You know,
when y'all were ordering or when you're eating, did they run out of food yet? Like, what time did they run out? No. Did they say?
No, they close at 12.
Oh,
yeah. So they're only open 4 hours, 8 to 12.
So when you get there, can you watch them and they're already out there getting it and you can actually see them? Or are they in the back somewhere and you can't even see them?
So when we got there, there was the pit master was there. Tootsie didn't show up till about 5 or 6.
Really?
I mean, she's almost 90 now, dude.
Yeah.
And when Netflix did that thing, and she said she was getting up at 1 a.m. to get there at 2.
Yeah.
I think she's gotten the pass on that already. You know, she's done it long enough to where the guy that she's trained is kind of got it down already. But yeah, when we got out there was the owner. I can't think of his name.
Gary.
Gary?
Isn't it Carrie?
I don't
know.
Carrie. Yeah, Carrie. He was there, and then the pit master was there. Okay. And like I said, Tootsie showed up probably about 4-ish, somewhere around there. But dude, the time went by really fast.
Yeah.
So if you took like a group of dudes out there, I mean, I imagine it'd go by a whole lot faster because you're gonna be crushing beers, just hanging out there.
How many beers you get in before you ate?
Dude, I paced myself. I probably had about 4.
Oh, well, about Isaac, because I feel like he was hurting in that photo.
He probably had about the same 4, 4, 5.
Dirty.
That was my wife. Oh, okay. Well, anyways, that's my recommendation, guys. If you guys have the chance to go, I would go. So let's jump into last week. We did not have a show last week, so we do not have any projections. But some notable games last week. San Diego Lyford. San Diego took that one 31-20. Pretty much wrapped up the district championship for San Diego there.
Yeah.
They've got to win a couple of games, probably one to secure it for sure. But that's theirs for the taking.
Yep.
Odom Hebbronville. I was actually at this game because my daughter wanted to go to the game. So that's the game I ended up going to. So her and my wife were up in the stands and I was out in the field. Very interesting game, dude. There was a lot of stuff going on in that game. 29-27 Odom. That was a must win for Odom to get in the driver's seat, and they are in the driver's seat for the district championship. They have to win one of the next 2 games against Banquetti, who they play Friday night, or George West, and then they have the bye week 10 or week 11 as their bye week before they jump in.
Down, correct, in that game? Odom.
What was that?
Odom was down early in that game, correct?
Odom was down early. Yeah, they fumbled the first play after the kickoff, and Hebbronville did their slot thing, and they took it in like within 4 plays. And then, it just took a while for Odom to get things going. And Odom was letting Hebbronville in that game a lot. And if you look at our comments on that, so that Starburst video that I shared, that's got over 52,000 views already. dude, the Hebbronville people were upset, dude. And there was some questionable calls made by the referees, but this was Coach Huerta's 50th career win, right? So after the game, they had a banner for him, they had balloons, they had all kinds of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so Coach Huerta is from Hebbronville, right? His family's from there. His dad retired there. We have a couple coaches on the coaching staff here in Odom from Hebbronville. Dude, they were mad, just coming after him. Oh, well, the referees in blue were doing this.
Really?
How convenient that y'all had all these signs already. Y'all must have paid the refs off. And oh, it was bad, dude.
Where's that
and
at?
they're all relatives, dude. They're all like friends and relatives.
Dude, they were doing it at his little after party?
No, they were just chiming in on
Oh,
on the post.
shit.
Yeah, so
That's
so
funny,
that was
dude.
that was pretty interesting,
What'd
dude.
Mondo say?
Nothing. He was like, you know what? That was our fault. We let that game get so close. He's like, if we win that game by 10 points, nobody says anything.
Yeah.
But we ended up kind of doing this and doing that, making some mistakes and made it close.
Yep.
And they're gonna make the comments,
Absolutely.
So congratulations, Coach Huerta, on your 50th career win. And let's see if Odom can finish it out and win the district championship again. Talk about a comeback, right? Going from 1-9 and to sitting at 5-2.
No shit
right now.
doubt, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, that's exactly like Sweeney.
Dude,
100%.
so Jay, if you guys haven't been keeping up with what's going on with Coach Seibert, Coach Seibert left Rockport and took a job up in Sweeney, and they were 1-9 last year. They were losing games like 70-0 and 70-5 or 7, right? They were blowout wins. Jay's on the verge of taking that team to the playoffs.
They've actually just the other day cracked the top 25 in the rankings. They moved.
Did they?
Sinton and I believe Ingleside actually on the polls that we get sent. And yeah, man, it's honestly nice, dude, because we've talked about it before. I've always said that I think a lot of coaches down here in this area don't get quite as much credit for being as good of coaches because we don't really get the elusive state title as frequent. Actually, really never. Versus
at all.
Yeah. Versus some of these teams. And like you just said, like 10 minutes ago on the show, 2 hours in the middle of nowhere and you got massive kids in the 3A school. Right. So sometimes you see these teams that we got down here and the coaches get them to the 3 rounds, 4 rounds is like, whoa, man, you had a great year, and it's nice to see it. That area that he's coaching at right now, it's not
It's the same thing. It's the same thing as Lexington. It's the middle of nowhere.
They've got a good brand of football in that entire region. And while we're talking about that region, let's not forget about my Cards last weekend.
Dude, that was a big one. That was a big win for Columbus last week against Hitchcock.
52.
They were down
4 against Hitchcock. They revenged themselves in Hitchcock, dude. Last year they got beat by Hitchcock. They're 8-0. They revenged themselves. They're rolling, dude. 52-24. They got Yoakum and Hempstead coming up. I think they're going to finish out 10-0. Yoakum's going to be, I think, a decent challenge, but. Okay, I got a lot of penciled stuff in on Columbus and Sweeney. They're both from that area. I'm from that area a little bit, so yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Hey, you kind of froze a little bit. I'm going to give it a little bit and let it break up there for a little bit. I'm going to close some more tabs here for a second.
Why don't you close that Zolikoffer guy, the one that Alice just manhandled?
there it is. There's our problem right there. Hey, we'll get there in a little bit.
You gotta love it.
Yeah, and then the other game, somebody commented on it earlier, another big game. There's a lot of big games this week.
Big game.
You got Hampshire Fanet that's going to be playing Silsby this week. They're both 7-0. That's going to be a big one. Oh, there's my wife chiming in there with the Cal Allen comment. Yeah.
Hey, good morning.
Don't forget. Don't forget. I say it all the time. I'm married to a Cal Allen graduate, right? So I've got a little bit of that Cal Allen stuff in me. We'll actually probably be at the Cal Allen game this Friday. So some other games from last week. Robstown and West Oso, 34-14. Robstown inching closer to that playoff berth. First time to the playoffs since 2010. Here's the hitch, though. They've got to beat Ingleside or Orange Grove the next 2 weeks to get in.
I think Orange Grove's achievable, man. Ingleside's a tough draw.
Ingleside's a very tough draw right now. If you look at the playoff projections, they got them winning district.
I talked to a lot of people about Ingleside, man. I think a lot of people don't really realize what Ingleside has over there this year. And I try to tell people this all the time. They're like, why is Ingleside ranked? Are they good? Have they played anyone? I'm like, Uh,
Uh,
I don't know if they've really played anyone, but they're good. They're really
yeah,
good. And I think the thing is Jaden is so slept on, dude. 2 years in
yeah.
a wing T offense, and he got a D1 offer. North Texas, in my opinion, got a steal. That's one of those dudes that
Oh, big time.
you could see potentially one day, like, how is this dude from North Texas this good? And it's like, oh well, kind of,
Yeah. How's this guy playing for the Jets?
bro. He's
Right.
he's good, dude, and he's got the size and he's got the mindset for it. And you ask anyone that's seen him play, and I mean, it's impressive. So I think it's going to be kind of interesting to kind of follow him. And I'm rooting for Gage, man. But that's a tough draw with Ingleside, dude.
It is. It's a very tough draw. Joseph Munoz, let's talk about the pick of TM over Alice also. I don't know what you're talking about, Joseph. That was 2 weeks ago, dude. That may or may not have happened. I don't know, man. You're gonna have to prove
Come
that we
on, dude.
actually
I
picked.
was riding with y'all with Alice over Cal Allen, dude. Come on.
People never forget, dude.
Yeah,
People
people
never
forget,
forget.
dude.
And then the big one, like you said, Alice and Cal Allen, 21-7. Alice. Alice's first win since 2012 over Cal Allen, and it's the third win in the series. It's like 29-3 in favor of Cal Allen. I actually, if we had a show, we had picks, I probably would have picked Cal Allen this game because I did not think that Alice was ready yet.
I was
Um,
rolling Alice that week.
I'm glad we didn't have a show because Alice is evidently ready.
Yeah, no,
Oh man. So we had some folks at the game and I was chatting while I was at the Odom game on what's going on. Alice was just the more physical team, dude. And this is coming from Cal Allen folks that I'm talking to, not Alice people. I'm in a little chat, Cal Allen group chat. Yes, believe it or not, Cal Allen, I am in a Cal Allen group chat in Messenger. I do not hate your team.
no one hates your
Um,
team. Please stop.
Nobody, just because we got denied a pass, yes, we had our feelings hurt, yes, we are over that now. Okay, so yes, I do have a Cal Allen group chat.
And I'll be back Friday.
Um, and they said they were very upset, man. They were very upset with the way Cal Allen came. They said they looked like they did not prepare at all. They said they looked like they were just going through the motions, and we're pitching the ball to Luke and hoping something would happen. It did not happen. Um, Lucian Cruz, who's a sophomore, who's a very, very good spot on that offense, ran for all 3 touchdowns in that game. I think he ran for 112 yards and had all 3 scores. Here's the notable stat here. Cal Allen had 61 rushing yards on 35 attempts.
Yeah, that's who.
Um,
Yes,
bad play on the
Cal.
offensive line. A lot of fumbled snaps, a lot of bad snaps. It's just it happens. Yeah, it is. You're right, Teresa. Cal Allen has bad years every so often. It is what it is, right? Um, and they have to move on, but we've got to talk about what happened last week, right? So we will move on once we get past last week's stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what it was, And if you watched that video that we shared with JR, and if you go back and watch our Coffee with Coaches interview that we had with Coach Castellano, I mean, the guy knows how to coach, man. He actually coached in Cal Allen
Yeah.
for a few years under Coach Campbell, learned his trade, and went on to coach at Lamarck that would beat those Cal Allen teams, learned football. I mean, he knows football.
Yeah.
And you can talk to Ernie Garcia. Ernie Garcia is a very big proponent of him. He's over at Seguin now. He said, man, I thought I knew a lot about football until, I met him, coach. And he knows he knows how to prepare. And he prepared those guys.
We talked about it before, dude. JR was a to me like a little slam dunk hire for Alice. I think he's going to fit well with the program. I see he's finally moving out of Oferio to Alice, so it means to me, looks like he's wanting to plant some deep roots there, right? I think Castellano is a huge pickup for Alice, and we've talked about in the past, dude. They have had talent, right? But it was getting that talent to perform when necessary against the teams that you needed it to, right? You could perform against the teams that they were Hidalgo, they were Zapata. Yeah, you're going to beat those guys. But when they came to like the big matchup with Cal Allen or Vets, is like they just could never, or Miller, Portlock, they couldn't get over that hump, right? And a lot of the Alice fans that didn't have as much blinders on would tell you, man, this coaching staff just can't get it done. And I'm not bashing them. It's just That's the simple fact of that last staff, man. They won the games they should have, couldn't win the games that you could have won, and lost some games that you probably shouldn't have lost, right?
Yep.
Castellanos
Yep.
bars come in and he's already got you over that first hump. And I'm not saying this is the Cal Allen team's a pass because I don't think they are, but it's still a notable win, and you should have won that game, and you did win that game. So good for you. One thing, real quick, I'm looking at comments. Mark Pena, are you related to Eric Pena? I'll give you a moment on that. Mark Pena or Eric Pena from TM currently. What else? I thought I saw something else in there. I don't think so. Anyways, that was on the name. I was curious if Mark's related.
Can you see it? I can pull him up real quick. Hang on.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, there you go.
Eric's your brother, right? Okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah, so I help coach Eric's youngest boy Zeke in baseball. So, and someone had thrown that out there today that Eric's brother Mark was from Obstown, I believe. I think Eric and Mark both from Obstown. So, all right, cool. All right, what's going on with that count? Gilbert Garza, is that for sure? Or that's a nice.
He came in. He came in a little bit. Dennis got hurt. And so he had to step in, and that's the one they said. I guess he did a little bit better. I don't know if Bomb's still in here or not. Hey, so we did hear something about that game last week. Bomb called me, and I didn't answer it, and I forgot to call him back. But you messaged me later.
Well, that's what I'm asking here. Who knew about that?
Did they really limit the Cal Allen tickets to that game? You guys that win, anybody that win?
They got from the goal line to 20. The whole middle section was Alice fans on both sides. Not sure.
Is that true? I don't know. Somebody chime in. Whoever was there, I'm not sure. Justin, my cousin Justin was there, and I'd have to ask him. I don't know if they jumped in or not. Let me see if they've chimed in on my Cal Allen group chat here. No, they have not. Okay,
that's typical when we play.
Okay. So that was really it for last week. As far as the big things that popped up, everything else was kind of, this was the week. Yeah. This week right here is the week. And if you look around the state, it is the big game, a big week game, right? For everybody. It seems like. It did big time. Dude, we didn't even mention that. We are in week 8 already. Week 9.
9, brother.
No, 8. No, it's 8, right? Right. What did I say on?
No, it's week 9, dude. Because we had week 8 was our.
Oh yeah, week 9. Yep. Yeah. So, dude, it's gone by so fast. So, okay, yeah, Alice side full and 2 sections of visitor side is general admission, which usually fills up with Alice fans. Wow. Yep. Oh, you know who else does that? Port Lavaca does that. Remember?
Yes, they do.
Yeah, they do that. Yeah,
they like to bully people.
Oh, dude, that's what I had wanted to talk about So before we jump into next week, let me open this up real quick. Hang on. Realignment talk. So Step lit the fuse yesterday, or kind of turned on the stove, and it's getting warm now, dude. So Snapshot Day is coming up. Right. And for those of you folks who don't know what Snapshot Day is, that's when these schools send the UIL their snapshot of their enrollment of that day. Right. So you get that Snapshot Day. And then in November, you get the cutoffs.
Yeah.
Right. So you'll see where the classifications are going to be at, what the numbers are, and you can kind of adjust to where you can kind of figure where your team's going to fall this year. Well, now. And then in February comes the realignment, right? So there is a 2024 UIL realignment and rumors notes for the state right now, right? Because Step put that out and I blew that up. The first thing that caught my eye on that was that CCISD, supposedly, that's the rumor, they are talking about letting their schools play in their correct classifications. Instead of opting everybody up to 5AD1.
Good.
Right. So that was the biggest thing. And that's kind of what lit the fuse there. And I shared that on Twitter and our Facebook. Right. So it would shake the region up, right? Because you're going to have more teams in these areas. Oh, it may move some teams to San Antonio. Some teams from San Antonio may come down. It's going to have some shakeups in the valley. So some of the things that caught my eye on this realignment stuff. Flower Bluff may going back up to 5A D1
Really?
next cutoff. Yep. Alice may be jumping up to 5A D2. London, this one caught me off guard too. 4A D2
We've called that though.
next
We've
year.
said the growth.
Yeah, we have. They're growing fast.
We've said
They're
that.
growing fast. I didn't think it'd be up there that fast though.
That's quick.
And yeah, because they were just 3A D2 or D1. Actually, 3A D2 the previous realignment, jumped up to 3A D1 this alignment, and they're jumping up to 4A D2 this alignment. So they've jumped up the classification
That's
the last
fast,
2 alignments.
dude.
That's fast, dude.
That's very fast growth.
And then Bishop and Orange Grove maybe moving back down to 3A D1. And that's going to have some ripple effects down the valley. So let's look at the RGV and Laredo, right? So the big thing to watch in the valley with smaller schools is 164A D2, which that's the print your t-shirts district, because that's all they have. It's 4 teams in that district. It's Port Isabel, Grula, Raymondville, and Bishop. They're all in the playoffs. Well, if Bishop's dropping, Raymondville's talking about dropping as well to 3A D1. Grula is probably going to go up to 4A D1. So at least Port Isabel kind of all by themselves.
Whoa, Bishop's dropping?
Bishop's dropping.
That's surprising. I thought the growth was there for Bishop to keep going, expanding.
Yeah. I don't know if the growth is really there. I think it's just there based on where the cutoff numbers fell.
I thought they were a lot more houses and people out that way, though.
So our boy Ken Martin, the Port Isabel and Tough Talk and Tony may have a decision to make whether they're going to opt up to 4A D1 or stay in D2 and make a lot of trips to the Coastal Bend, because that'll be the only 4A D2 school down in the valley.
That's crazy.
Brownsville Vets making the jump to 6A from 5A D1. Brownsville Pace dropping 5A D2 to 5A, or drop to 5A D2 from D1.
Any 6A's dropping to 5A D1.
What was that?
Any of the 6A's dropping down to 5A D1 or 5A D1.
Well, so I was about to jump there. Mission and PSJA, both smaller 6A programs, could potentially flirt with dropping down to 5A D1. Okay. Ed Couch is moving down to 4A, probably. So, man, so the biggest thing is with these shakeups in 6A, if some of these drop, right now the Valley has 2 6-team 6A districts. If some of these teams move around, they may combine with Laredo.
I would assume Portland would be hopping up. I think.
Well, you would figure with all the growth, right?
Yes, and if Bluff goes, it's probably likely we would go. Right. I feel like that's a kind of a mutual interest attachment to each other, because it saves both of each other a little bit of travel, and it's a heck of a rivalry, heck of a game, right? But I'm gonna test Coach Evans and see if he actually gets this far into the show or if he skims it. But China Spring and Bernie both say hello in 4AD1.
Oh, actually, Bernie may be jumping up.
Okay.
So that was another little interesting thing there in the Central Tex area, or the San Antonio metro area, is that Bernie more than likely making the jump up to 5AD2.
It's a test for Justin. It's a test. We'll see if he calls me out tomorrow. But I think that would be good for Miller, man, dude. We got a little sneak peek of them the other day, and I was impressed with what I saw, right? And then I've always thought, man, last time they were down there, they made a heck of a run, dude. Had probably one of the best games we saw against Ace Whitehead, Dude,
that was the game. Dude, that's probably been
one of the highlight games we've been to.
That we've been doing the show. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's probably one of the best games we've ever been to.
The best game we've ever been to. And then the other one for me was the big Saturday afternoon Vets Miller game that you missed out on, unfortunately. That was pretty epic as well. But actually, this entire series that we're about to jump into here in a little bit has been pretty epic. So,
Yep. Yeah, Shane, that's kind of that if CCISD decides to let their schools play where they play or where they fall, Miller may be 4AD1. You got King and Moody that may drop to 5AD2, depending where it goes, whatnot. So there's a lot of interesting pieces that could unroll there. So keep your eye on this alignment, man. Let's see what happens. See what's going to come out of CCISD of what they're going to decide. We've always been big believers that it's a disservice to these kids, man.
Yep.
These smaller enrollments play in these bigger schools. I get it, right? It saves on travel, but the more I thought about it, if they were to drop they're going to play in a local district. The only issue you would have is if vets went to 6A.
But yeah,
That's the travel issue that you run into. If some of these schools play 5A, D2, 4A, they're going to be in local districts. They're not going to travel very far. The issue you would have is if vets jumped up to 6A, which is probably not going to happen. So you don't have to worry about the travel. They'll play in 5A D1 and they'll be in their 5A D1 district. Now, they may, depending if there's any 5A D1 schools left, they may have to travel.
yes.
But I mean, sometimes the benefits of the many outweigh the benefits of the few, right?
Yep.
I mean, sometimes you got to look at it that way, right? And if that's what it's got to be, that's what it's got to be. So we'll see. Yeah. So Rockport is depending where they put it, right? Beaverville and Rockport could slide, right? So or they could slide Rockport. I think Rockport's solid in, but they could, right? It all depends what happens, and that was with that 6A thing. If some of these things move around, I don't know if we're holding up a logjam anywhere with some of these districts that we have as far as moving stuff into the state. But I don't know, man. We'll see. It's going to be an interesting realignment, dude.
Yeah.
And then there's that big specter in the corner that may happen next alignment, and that's 7A. Maybe not this alignment, but 2 years from now, maybe could be here. They're always talking about it.
Do you think it helps?
I don't know, dude.
I don't know how it works. I just feel like it's a Band-Aid, but I don't know. I don't know how. I would like to sit down and have someone actually explain it to me to where I could pay attention and not wander off. You know what I mean? Like, so
well, you know, we could probably get AJ on.
Yeah,
and he can maybe talk about just realignment and what they look at and things like that, and we get a look at from the inside if it's available. You know, that stuff could be behind the curtain, like the Wizard of Oz, and pay no attention to this guy, and stuff just happens, right?
Yeah.
But we'll see. All right, so let's jump into this week 9. Not a whole lot of big games on the docket, except for 2. We'll start with the lower interest game at the time, and that's going to be the Battle of the Little Brown Jug. Closer Midway at Calallen. I didn't know this until today. Somebody commented on it when I posted that graphic today.
This has been going on since in over there.
Huh?
That they permanently cemented that brown jug into Calallen.
I was gonna say that. Yeah. No, it was on that same thread. I think this game's been around since 1968.
Okay.
I didn't know that. Well, the jug has been around since 1968. I had no idea. But yeah, there was another comment on there from Big Marcus saying it's cemented at Calallen. That ain't going anywhere. So there's his pick, right? He's going to pick the Wildcats in this one. There's a lot to unwrap in this game, you know. TM is coming off a bye week, so they've had that extra week to prepare for Calallen. They've got some film on what they need to do to beat Calallen, right? Coming off that Tolosa Midway. I mean, that Alice lost last week. They have a common opponent in Alice. You know, Alice beat TM 40-14. I know you can't really go off of that, right? Because they're 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old kids, right? And things happen. So you can't really go off of that's how it works, right? But if you wanted some kind of barometer, a kind of measuring stick, that's it, right? My opinion, I do not think, and I said this earlier, I don't think Tolosa Midway's ready yet. I don't think they're ready to jump over that stream yet. I think Calallen kind of rebuilds. I think right now these teams are kind of evenly matched. I don't see this game being a blowout. Is that a dramatic pause, or what's going on?
Just listening to you.
I was gonna stop and let you take over from there.
Man, I don't know. The thing with Calallen is, the only thing that's impressed me with Calallen this year, honestly, it was the Flower Bluff win. And when I think back on that Flower Bluff win,
so far away, though.
I just really feel like a lot of that has to do with, Calallen kind of being in the Bluff's head, right? Bluff was in a very weird stage at that point. I know they didn't play their greatest game, but that win looks good on paper.
I'm sorry, I just read Shane's comment. If TM wins, the barbecue smoke from the party after the game will pollute Annabelle like the smog in Beijing.
Shane, not Beijing. It's the big obtrusive object behind the stadium. That I'm not going to comment on what that place is or what it does. Either way, uh, I don't know, man. It's tough, and I'm torn because I thought at the beginning of the year this was going to be the year that TM got over that hump and finally beat the rivalry, right? And the loss to Alice was a little. It was a little like setback for me. I was kind of like, dang, what happened there? Uh, I would have liked that game to be a little closer to make me feel better about that pick. Um, and then I find it hard again, right? This is if you're a Cal Allen team, man, you've lost to Bluff, you've lost to Portland. I would think those two teams on that schedule would be more the teams at the top that you're looking to knock off every year. It should be, right? We're going to continue to beat these dudes. You lost to both of them. We ain't beat you in a while. Alice ain't beat you but only 3 times in history. That's crazy. You drop a game to TM. This is possibly the worst Cal Allen team in the history of the school. By fans standards, right? Think about that. Never have lost to TM. You haven't beat a GP hadn't beaten you 8 years, 9 years. Alice ain't beat you in 12. They've only beat you 3 times altogether. So that to me, that's extra motivation for Cal to go out there and get the job done, right?
Yep. You don't want to be that team,
You
right?
don't want
You
to be
don't.
that team. But if you're TM, this is probably your best opportunity to do it in the history or existence of the school. You've had 2 weeks to prepare to get healthy. If you're going to do it, it's going to be now, especially after Callan took a loss. Because it depends, man. 18, 17, 16-year-old kids, either you're going to get punched in the mouth and you're going to get back up and go again, or you're going to get punched in the mouth and you're going to back down, right? And sometimes games like that against Alice can really set a team off spectrum for a couple weeks. You're in Cal Allen. I got to ride with the Warriors, though. I got to ride with the Warriors. I picked them at the beginning of the year to do it. I think they're going to do it this week. They had 2 weeks to prepare.
Hey, Ruben, you are right. They have played Kingsville.
Week 10,
and it
I'll come
was
on here and eat crow if I have to. It is what it is. But I'm riding with TM.
They were pretty similar outcomes, that TM Kingsville game and that Cal Allen Kingsville game. I think Cal Allen beat Kingsville 22-7, I think, and TM had an overtime win or a game to keep them out of overtime.
Yeah.
Right. It was that goal line stand or the 2-point conversion, I think. So it was pretty close. Like I said, I think these teams are very evenly matched right now.
Callan's down. Keep that in mind.
They are down a quarterback, and this Garza kid that came in, has he had enough reps? I don't know if he's played a lot. I don't know, man. I don't know. But if all else fails, right? Jude's been pounding the rock pretty well in the backfield to kind of complement what Luke's doing back there. But I think somebody said it earlier, and you're absolutely right. This game's gonna be won on the offensive line. It's gonna be won on that front. And I'm not gonna renege. I'm not gonna pull back. I think Cal Allen's just. I don't think TM's ready yet.
I get it. You have to wake up in the morning and your wife's a Cal Allen fan.
So we will be at this game
Blink twice.
Friday on the TM side. We got TM media credentials for this game, so we'll be Ruben Callan by 7. I think it's gonna be close, dude. Free football. Maybe we'll go. Get some free football.
That's my biggest concern for Cal Allen. I think if you want to bring that up, is it's extremely one dimensional. And I'm the only one saying I've seen a lot of the Callan fans also rag on the offensive adjustments and the play calling, and it's been dismal. I've even seen people go as far as to say they need to clean the entire house, even with Campbell, which I think is wild to hear because of how much he's done for the program. But at the same time, I'm thinking about how much is he how super invested is Campbell in it compared to how he was in his prime? You know what I mean? Like he's on that backside. I feel like he's taken this job to kind of help them out in a tough spot because we had heard a long time ago that he was possibly thinking about retiring as well. It's just a lot of things are going on over there, dude. There's a lot of stuff going on. You just lost a quarterback. Luke is your man, but like you said, man, they got teams brought in good coaches, man. The kids are playing pretty good over there. They become one dimensional. I don't know, dude. if you're going to do it, man, this is it, And I can't figure out Cal Allen because I have seen Cal Allen's offensive line play really good. I have seen their defensive step up and play really good. But then I've also seen them come in and just be like, who is this team? This isn't who they are. And they have size and speed. It's not like you don't have the size or the speed. It's just I don't know what it is.
The cupboard's not bare. Yeah.
Don't know what it is.
I don't think they know what it is either.
No.
Otherwise it'd be a different ball club right now. And it is. It's TM, they are kind of one-dimensional. They're still kind of breaking in that new quarterback as well. So we'll see, man. It's all going to come down to Friday night. I've got the Cats. You've got the Warriors. That's where the chips are going to fall. Let's see what happens.
I got to make sure we get in to the game, dude.
Huh? Yeah. We got to make sure we get. They probably got pictures of us there at the ticket booth. Do not allow in. But we're right next to Sergio's picture. Okay, so that takes us to our game of the week. Miller at Vets. We say at Vets, it's Miller's home field, but I think Vets is the home team
again
this week. Yeah. So, we talked to our guys over at Channel 3, and I don't think you've seen these yet, Justin. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play these. We've got a preview, a Miller preview and a Veterans Memorial preview. Our guy Chris Tomlinson over at Channel 3 allowed us to go ahead and play this on our show. So in case you guys haven't seen it, we will we'll share it here for a second. They're a couple minute videos, so I got to let this ad play first because we're not getting any money off these ads. So of course we're gonna let that go first before I share my screen with you guys. All right. It's almost there. Almost there. All right, here we go. Oh man, where'd it go?
Oh God.
This Thursday between the rivals. Hey, good evening, everybody. We've got one of the games of the year coming up this
Hang on, wrong window.
between the rivals, Veterans Memorial and Miller. 7-0 heading into this game, just like they were.
Let's start that over again. Can you hear that, Justin?
Hey,
okay.
Good evening, everybody. We've got one of the games of the year coming up this Thursday between the rivals Veterans Memorial and Miller. Miller 7-0 heading into this game, just like they were last year. But the Bucks let a 9-point lead get away in the final minutes against the Eagles, a loss that gave Vets the district title and sent Miller up with a second-round matchup against PSJ North, the game they ultimately got out physical then. Well, the Bucks say this year's team is more balanced, more disciplined, and if it comes down to the final minutes once again against the Eagles, Miller feels like it's ready to finish this time.
Just finish the game stronger and just be a fourth quarter team and just finish the job this year.
I would say so. I think we're more disciplined this year. Our coach has really been on us, just trying to come together and work as a team.
Yeah, it stung last year. If I said that it didn't sting, it didn't because we felt like that in the fourth quarter that we felt like we had played 3 good quarters, but that's why you play 4 quarters. And the credit to those guys, they didn't stop fighting and they beat us in the fourth quarter. And so, it's been a point of emphasis just finishing games totally, not just Vets specifically, but just over the offseason, just really learning how to play 4 quarters, having that 4-quarter mentality.
All right, so there is that one. And here we jump into the Vets preview.
John Goodridge.
Oh, no. Ads. Let me hide that. Yeah, dude. Ain't nobody getting nothing for free on this show, man.
I want to know what the people think out there. Who do y'all got? And what?
I hope so. All these comments disappeared, so I hope they come back on. I know David just chimed in there a little while ago, but all right, here we go. You ready?
Yep. Throw it on.
All right, hang on. Let me share my screen again.
O'clock, we took a look at the Miller Bucks heading into one of our games of the year. Now we look at the other side, the Veterans Memorial Eagles. Vets has had the Bucks number over the years with 4 straight wins and 7 out of 8 overall. That includes a furious comeback last year that saw the Eagles rally from 9 points down with just over 2 minutes to go to win 38-34. But Vets knows it's in for another dogfight this Thursday with the Bucks wanting to prove that they let one get away in 2022. And the Eagles saying, hey, that was no fluke.
So I know they're coming in with a chip on their shoulder. It's a rivalry game. I think it has the opportunity for us to go out and win and show everyone what we're made of.
It's usually a very exciting game. All my 4 years, it's always been hype. A lot of the fans show out. It's just a good environment.
We know it's going to be a fight. You know, we know it's going to be a playoff-like atmosphere, and we're going to have to play well to win. So it gets us in a playoff mode kind of before playoffs.
And to see this preview again and the Miller preview, you can head on to our website at KIIITV.com. The Bucks and Eagles kick it off Thursday, 7 o'clock at Buck Stadium. We'll have full coverage that night for you on 3 News.
Okay, now that you've got your unbiased opinion on, actually not even an unbiased opinion, you've got your little preview there from Channel 3. I mean, we've had some comments in there, and again, they disappeared as soon as I took the share screen off. Got a lot of Miller by 14, Miller, Vets. You know, we actually went out to practice on, was that yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday.
Was that yesterday? Yeah, so we swung by Miller practice yesterday because we had to go pick up our media passes. So we will be at this game tomorrow night. And, dude, it's the first time we've seen either of these teams in person.
Yes.
Right, because you know, as the season goes on, you know, and I hate to say it, but I mean, there's a bunch of blowout wins on both sides, right? Unless you're at some of these preseason games where they're playing New Braunfels Canyon or they're playing El Campo, the games are starters are gone by the third quarter, right? So I don't think any of these starters have played a complete game all season for both teams, right? Their common opponent, Ray, which was kind of, I mean, they beat Ray, both of them, handily. Yeah. And El Campo is the other. You know, Vets lost to El Campo, which is their only loss on the season. Vets is 6-1, Miller 7-0. 35-28. When Miller played El Campo, they did not have their quarterback, who's a Texas Tech commit, who made a lot of the difference in that game against Vets. So there is that. Right. Man, there's just Vets is coming together with some pieces. BW3 is turning into a very nice quarterback. He's getting better every week. Luke Johnson, who it seems like has been playing varsity football since he was in 5th grade. He's there and he's creating huge numbers. I think he was up for our Elite Tank Solutions Player of the Week this week with 200 yards receiving and 5 touchdowns. Yep. 4 in the air and 1 on a kick return. Sabsuk, who's having a great season. But you're not seeing that. Vets hasn't really had that constant runner like they've had the last couple of years. Right. Looking at Miller, and you know, we've talked to a couple coaches that have kind of played both these teams, and you know, the biggest thing is we're getting is Miller's very balanced, as balanced as they've ever been, right? Yep. On the offensive side of the ball. I'll let you take over. You know, give your thoughts.
So the thing I talk about with Vets, and you can back me up on this, as I've always said, first of all, I'm going to put it out there. I've always rooted against Vets. It's fun to root against Vets. I felt like Corpus Christi ISD did them the disservice and made them the villains of the Coastal Bend for a little bit there, and I think that's still hard for some people to wear off on, right? Miller, in its own right, gets that villainy role after being a doorstep for most teams for 40 years, right? And all of a sudden they're good and people want to hate on them, right? So you almost have these two villains across town colliding. We talked about how did this rivalry get to this point, and it's simple to me when I think back on it. Man, it's the 2 best teams in Corpus, and it's not even close. And it's no disrespect to everyone else, but this is the best 2 teams in Corpus. It's not close. They're both contenders. They're both probably, I'd say, top 3, top 4 in the Coastal Bend any given night. The last 4 or 5 years, easily, without a doubt. And the thing is they're different teams by a lot, man. Vets is consistent. They are physical. They're going to give you a product that right, for the most part. They're going to go 28-35, and they'll probably give up 14 points at most. That's been the kind of the ID last couple of years. The years prior before Bittner, you'd see them throw in the 40s, 50s range. But I feel like as Bittner's got there, they have a certain style, and they win good. It's convincing, right? Miller, on the other hand, they're flashy, right? It's a new toy every year. They roll out 3 receivers that all pushing a couple over 500 yards. They have two to 3 running backs that are usually really good runners, and a quarterback that can throw it 60 yards plus, it seems like. Defense always lacks. And I think that's probably your biggest knock on Miller.
Yep.
Having seen, talked, and heard from different people, man, dude, I love what Trevor Long does. He's got a slew of weapons. He's got a slew of weapons behind him running the ball. He's got a great offensive line. They're probably the most balanced they've been on in the defensive side of the ball in a long time. I just feel like, for me, I'm leaning Miller, and I don't say in a blowout because this is a rivalry game, and I think they're a better team than allowing themselves to get blown out. It might not be their best year ever, but they're not a team that's going to allow you to blow them out. It's going to take a really good team to blow out Vets. You know what I mean? College was a state title contending team. They blew out Vets, right? But Vets played them pretty tough. Well, I watched Vets lose to Cedar Park 2 years ago to go to state. Cedar Park was a better team. Vets played them good at the half. That's what you get with Vets. They're tough. They're going to fight. They're going to battle. They'll find a way to win. I think Miller's got too much explosion this year. I think your X factor is Trevor Long having that experience. He's a dual threat kid, probably the best arm in the Coastal Bend. He can make plays. He's smart with the ball. He's thrown 1 pick all year long. I don't want to jinx him, so I'm knocking on some wood for him. But it's going to be a good match. I could see maybe a 2-score game, but I just think Miller's got it this year. I'm rolling with the Bucks. Feel pretty confident in saying that. This game is one of the games I look for every year. I'm pumped. I was thinking about today. I'm like, yeah, I'm probably going to bust out some white Nikes for this one. You know me, I could care less when I go to these games. Sometimes, like, I'm in hey dudes and shorts and a tee, like, chilling. But that's the level this game's kind of gotten to for me. And you have people like Matt Stepp coming into town to watch it, so that ought to tell you where this game ranks across the state this week. So
all eyes are going to be on this game. It's a Thursday night game.
Yep. So hey, calm down, Becca. You'd love the white Nikes. So I'm going
to wear my J's then. If you're going to wear your white Nikes, I'm going to wear my J's.
Oh, dude, I don't want to get you in trouble. I'll stop. I want to match something with the hat. I'll be honest with you. So
yeah, the hats are sweet, right? Did you guys see the new hats? They're pretty sweet.
Yep. So, anyways, I'm taking the Bucks, man.
Yeah, I am too. I don't have I agree with everything you said. We talked about this when we were at practice the other day. I'm going to go with Vets as well. I mean, I'm sorry, Miller as well. One of the no, I think I already covered everything that I wanted to cover. Yeah, so I think it's going to be close. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. It's going to stay a tight game. It could come to the last possession. Who knows?
We've heard 9,000 people are going to be in the stands.
We'll see, man. See, here we go again. Here we go again. This game is going to be on the CW. You don't have to watch the stream because that's that CCISD stream, and it's not a professional. It's not a professional stream. But it's going to be on the CW, and I really hate that. I hate that because it's going to pull away from the stands. It's a Thursday night. It's a lot easier to stay home on a Thursday night because people got to work on Friday. So I can see people staying home to watch it on TV.
You got to get out.
Go to the game.
Go to the game.
Go to the game. Go to the game. Right? Because there's no guarantee these teams are going to meet again in the playoffs.
Nope.
Right? And these are always good matchups. If you just like you said last year, like Chris said in the game last year, it came down to the last 4 minutes. Right? Last year. It's going to be another good one, man. It's always good. What's that?
A wild 4 minutes.
Oh, I know. But I think those are not diehard fans. Man, I think that's it. We got anything else we want to talk about? How's Miller defense like? And they only got 50 points per game. No, we said in the past. We're not saying now.
Yeah, in the past.
We've said in the past.
Pick Miller.
So yeah, it's not wow. Dude. I know we picked Miller. Calm down.
Yeah.
I think that's it for this week, right? We do have one more. So we had our Elite Tank Solutions Player of the Week. So we did, even though we didn't have a show last week, we still went it out there. We looked at the numbers, and we had some very impressive numbers this week. And this one wasn't as close as it has been the last couple of weeks, where it came down to a couple of votes. But this week's winner. Sitting running back Derek Garcia.
There you go.
I think he ran for 242 yards and 4 touchdowns, I think. Congratulations, Derek. Congratulations to the Pirates. They're shaping up. You know, they were we weren't sure where they were going to be as the season started out, right? Because they were kind of all over the place. It seems like they've kindly found their stride, and it's going to come down to that last game of the season again against Ingleside.
That's a big one, too.
And, oh, thanks, Jimmy. So the Astros are up now. 7 what? 7-2, top of the 7th. Yeah, I forgot the Astros were playing right now. Yeah, last time I checked, they were up 5-0 last time I saw. So,
yep, must win.
Let's go, Houston. Yeah, it is a must win. Justin, you got anything else before we go?
Nope. That's about it for me.
I don't think Bevo has a big game this week, do they? Who's Bevo playing this week? Fill us in.
I don't know.
Either I think Bevo should take care of business. I mean, Bevo's putting together a very good season.
Yes, they are.
Very good season. Yep. Oh, Port Lavaca. Oh.
And give me Bevo.
Oh. Yeah. Can we see y'all? Whoa, man, these are all pumping in here. Wow. Okay, yeah, that should be a good one, man.
PLC. Damn.
PLC. Oh, dude. Oh, man.
Shit, let me look at it real quick. I'm not just gonna throw something random out there to fill the void.
I know.
Let me look. Let me see what I think. This is gonna be very, very rogue. Pull up their max preps and give me a rundown. I saw Port Lavaca play against GP.
Yeah, you did against Portland. So you've got a barometer.
I told you I thought they were pretty good. That they lacked in certain areas. I thought the offensive line wasn't like they normally, or really the defensive line like they normally have been in the past. Why is this messing with me? Come on, man.
All right, they got that 20-19 loss to Yoakum. That 21-14 loss to Gregory Portland. 19-14 loss in week 1 to Stafford. Everything else, they beat Lavernia 21-14. They just beat Pleasanton 35-19. And yeah, Lavernia was their first district game. Everything else was non-district. So right now they're 2-0 in district. So is Bevo. Calhoun overall 4-3. Bevo 6-1 with that loss to Cuero. You know, Yoakum played Cuero here we go again down that rabbit hole, right? There's that common opponent, right? So Yoakum played Cuero very tight. Very tight. No, so I don't have we didn't get any feedback on Annapolis this week. I know Coach Latka chimed in and sent that picture of Caden's a helmet sticker, but we hadn't really talked about. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not Annapolis. That's no, we did not talk about Annapolis. We need to get a 6-man beat going or something, right? I still have to go check out one of those games.
Give me Portland.
No, we didn't. Yeah,
give me PLC.
Man,
give me PLC.
I'm gonna go Bevo.
PLC.
I'm gonna go Bevo.
I'll put it down. Give me
okay.
PLC.
So we'll swap it. I know we're just kind of mumbling now. Okay, guys. Again, thanks for tuning in. Big game, but they beat Lyford. Yeah, I mean, we talked about it earlier. Chris's son is the quarterback there.
How about we do this? How about we do this? Right. This is the most fan interaction I've seen. Probably,
dude. We had 50 eyeballs in here at one time.
Before we get to the current week, get in there as we do the recap. We don't have to ramble as much field time in the beginning about barbecue like we did tonight. We can go through this, and if it's not on our docket, we'll attack it right then and there. I am 100% down with that.
Yeah.
So, anyways, fan involvement's nice. I like it. You made me pick
I love it
on a whim. So here we go.
Yeah, I'm going with Bevo. Going with the Fighting Soldiers.
Like Coach the games.
Yeah. Tomorrow's Annapolis versus Sunnybrook. Is Sunnybrook good? I don't know. I don't even know who Sunnybrook is.
I got Annapolis.
See again, Chevy 714X. Is that a burner? That sounds like a burner account.
I don't see those.
It's some.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. So that'll be it for us tonight. Depending what happens, dude. I don't know. Maybe. I don't. Are you work? Did you work Friday?
Yes, I work Friday.
You work Friday? Okay, so never mind. I do too. So we probably won't do a late night reaction show. I mean, that'd be the time to do it, right? But just to see what happens.
Work
But
Friday.
we'll be back. Oh, you'll be on nights next week, right?
Yes.
We may do a pre-recorded show over the weekend.
Let's see.
And air it on Wednesday night.
I have a baseball tournament this weekend, but I don't go back to work till Wednesday night, so maybe we can drop a Tuesday recording or something.
Maybe do it a Tuesday. Yeah, we can do it that.
Well, actually, yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Okay. All right, guys. Again, thanks for tuning in. Guys, we have not had any helmet sticker nominations. We haven't had any videos sent in. Dude, send them in. Right. So if you guys haven't kept up, so the reels that we're putting out, dude, they're getting like up to 50,000 views, right? So they're getting out there. Guys, we'll make reels of your kids' highlights and get some exposure to your kids. That's the whole point of us doing this.
Yep.
Right? Send them in. Obviously, this game Friday night or Wednesday night and Friday night, there'll be a bunch of reels made at that one.
I'm gonna have this on deck too. So you know what? I got so many of them. You find us at the game. Come talk football. Get you a little sticker pack too, because I got so many stickers. It's not even funny this year.
I know, David. You're the only one sending videos in. I can't be showing Lyman videos every week.
Can't do it every week, David. Come on.
we gotta have more than one. But again, we'll let you guys go and follow us on Twitter and on Facebook for the live game updates and see who makes it real. Right. We'll see you guys next week.